Do you want giant shields to keep your damage dealers and other characters safe, as well as some healing and one of the best elements in Genshin Impact right now, Cryo element? So strong since 1.2, allows you to do crazy things that we have been able to do since the beginning, like melt, but also allows you to make use of the nice freeze teams. Diona is my favorite Cryo support character in the game. She can do exceptional stuff with a minimum gear and minimum investment, and gets better over time. So let's talk about Diona today in Genshin Impact. So she does have a lot of things that you can utilize with her to make her extremely powerful. The two things that you're going to want to be doing with this character in the way that I use her. So let's get right into it for you. The talents that we're looking to maximize: Icy Paws as well as Signature Mix. These both take into account your HP percent. The more HP you have, the bigger the number, the better the shields, and the better the heals. That is definitely what you want there. Now, the secondary set that you're going to want to have access to is ways to get your energy back, both for Diona herself as well as other teammates in your party. I use her as an energy battery. So energy recharge is going to be great, because the better she gets her energy back, the faster she gets her energy back, the more she can give energy to your party with my energy regen build. And I've used this a lot if you've been watching and hanging out on Twitch or other videos that we've been using Diona in. I love her for this. Now, very strong. On top of that, not only is the shielding going to help you out, keep you guys nice and cozy and safe, you also are going to have increased movement speed and decreased stamina consumption while that shield is on. So if you're using someone like Ganyu that needs to stay away from monsters, swapping into other characters, maybe you want to get around the battlefield faster, this is going to help you out. On top of that, extra movement speed is great. And then while you're being healed up inside of her ultimate, you want to fight inside that ring, because enemies will actually hit you for less damage. This is one of the only ways, it might even be the only way in Genshin, to reduce the attack of enemies who go inside the ultimate. And this is for 15 seconds. So if they enter the ultimate, your ultimate's there for 12 seconds, then it goes away, they're still going to have that reduced for another 15. So it's going to give you a whopping 27 seconds of attack down. That's going to help you live as well. So let's talk about the artifact selection. I'm still currently using this basic set, Exile set. It gives you a little bit of energy bump for everyone else in your party. There's some other stuff that you guys can use as well, but we'll get into that. The next thing here, the 2-piece bonus on Exile, 20% free energy recharge. The other set that does have this is the Scholar set. So you can use 2-piece Scholar, 2-piece Exile as you're leveling up your Diona, right? Put her on the back burner. You want to level up artifacts and get better artifacts, 5-star artifacts for your damage dealing characters. Then you're going to have a lot of this Exile stuff, the Scholar stuff laying around, and she can make great use of it for the energy recharge there. Now, the 4-piece bonus of the Exile set, it's going to give you a little bit of extra recharge for everyone else in your party. When you use her elemental burst, it's going to give 2 energy per second to everyone else in the party. So that's going to be a total of 6 energy for 3 different people. So it's 18 energy in all. It's a little bit of a bump there. It's nothing super overpowered on its own, but if you have other players, other characters with different energy recharge systems, and we have weapons that give them energy recharge rate, you have maybe Exile set on someone else, you can go back and forth because it doesn't stack, right? But you use this one, you wait 6 seconds, and then they use theirs. That's something that I actually do with Bennett. It's very powerful that way, to utilize it that way. Then your damage dealers are getting 2 different people using Exile sets. It's going to be awesome. Now, the other thing that you want to be looking at is the weapons. So there's 2 different weapons that you guys can be using here. The one I am using is the Favonius Warbow here, and that is because the recharge rate on this weapon is so high, 50.5% elemental recharge rate. That's a lot. That's a lot of recharge rate, but that's not all. This bad boy has the ability of Windfall. Crit hits have a certain chance to generate elemental particles, which we're going to give you 6 energy for whoever absorbs them. This is insanely strong. If you have this bad boy refinement up, you're gonna have 100% proc rate on a crit to get this once every 6 seconds. So that's 1 energy per second. If you maintain that uptime, that's awesome. But even if you don't have it maxed out, fear not, because remember, her Icy Paws, her elemental skill, the one that gives you shield, has 2 different forms, right? You push it and it sends out 2 paws, or you can hold it and it'll send out 5 paws. The longer one gives you a longer duration shield and a larger shield. But the cool thing there is that's 5 different hits. So you build it for a little bit of crit rate, even if you don't have 100% proc rate on the Warbow itself. Maybe you have 60%, 70%. You have 5 different hits. Each of those have a chance to crit. each of those things that crit have a chance to proc the warbow at least one time. Now, it's not going to do anything insane. Remember, it only procs once every 6 seconds, so you can't get 36 energy, but it's going to give you the proc on this very consistently, and that's the cool thing to take away from that. The other weapon that you guys can be using is the Sacrificial Bow. Now, this one is going to help you with that energy regeneration rate as well. It's very strong. It's very good. It does not have as much energy recharge as the Favonius Warbow does, but this one does do here is it has a % chance to just refresh the rate of your elemental skill. This one's pretty interesting. It's not going to allow you to stack up your shield or anything crazy like that, but it is going to allow you to generate energy from casting that elemental skill once again, and that's going to help you out recharging Diona or recharging another character in your party. Now, the way I have her built for main stats and substats, I have, like we said, HP. So I have an HP % Sands, I have an HP % Goblet. You're not putting Cryo Goblet on her. She's not really meant to be doing damage out there. She's not your #1 damage dealer. Build her more support. You can do a lot of cool stuff with her. And then my Circlet here, I have a 5-star crit rate Circlet. This is because I'm using that Favonius Warbow. So got a crit rate here, 31%, because that's guaranteed to come with that main stat there. And then I think I rolled a little bit of crit rate on some of the Exile set that we have floating around. So while she doesn't have the highest HP in all the world, right? She's level 70 using 4-star artifacts, 17.7k. Her heals have been more than sufficient, and her shields have been more than sufficient as well. And then I also have 56% crit rate, which means when I use my elemental skill, I have a 56% chance for either one of those or up to 5 of those paws to crit, and then it's going to proc the Favonius Warbow and give us energy back on top of that. It's very, very, very powerful. In conjunction with some other characters who are built for energy regeneration, you can pretty much have almost infinite ultimates on cooldown, even against single target fights, which is super, super awesome. It's going to help you live longer, proc those melts all the time, keep those freeze consistently applied to your enemies. It's a good time out there. So we're going to be in here. We're not going to try to kill anything. We're just here to generate elemental energy over and over and over and over and just see the energy batteries that we can do. Now we have another person wearing Exile set as well, and that should be Mona. So we're going to have Exile on Diona, Exile on Mona. So my support Mona with Thrilling Tales of the Dragon Slayer. We're going to see how many times we can fill up everyone's ultimate. Hopefully we have near 100% uptime on all of their ultimates there, which is going to be very nice for us. So in the meantime, we're going to be freezing things, which is going to be helpful. So we can pop this off. Diona's ult. Use this one really soon. You can see the Favonius Warbow as we crit. We're generating elemental particles there. We can give those to her to get her elemental energy back up, or we can give them to another character. So, you know, pretty much we're looking for the 100% energy regen build, which is very nice here. So we're gonna pop this here, pop this here. Diona should be almost ready to rock and roll. Halfsies, it's cool. Boom, fullsies. All right, from halvesies to fullsies, seems good. I'll pop this here. Use Xingqiu. Oh, wrong button. Wrong button. Ruh-roh. So we overlapped their Exile set there, so that's fine. Pop this off and generate some more particles. Pop this off here for him, generate himself some particles. Pop this off over here. Pop this off over here, generate them particles. Name of the game is Particles. There it is, ready to rock and roll. Favonius Warbow coming through, tried and true. We have our E back up again. There's a lot of juggling in a team composition like this, but it's very nice and very efficient as well. You can go for a longer shield with the hold there. We've generated so many, but you see our energy jump up? We're almost full now. We're almost full now. Very nice. I use her in multiplayer all the time. Just keep people safe with constant shields, constant heals every once in a while. Very powerful setup here. Let me do this. Generate some particles with him. Back into her. Throw this out there. Boom. We're at half. We'll do a hold here. Get their shield back up. Almost at full. Pop this down. Get some particles from the crits. And the bosses are actually dead there. So you can just see the power of the energy recharge spamination in there, right? You had the enemies taking damage, but then you also had 3 different supports built for energy recharge. So we had the Sacrificial Sword on Xingqiu. That way he's pretty self-sufficient in leveling up his own elemental burst energy to maximum. And if he does get maximized, you can use the second use of that and give those particles to another character. We had the Exile set on Diona here, another regen set. You saw the power of that with the Favonius Warbow to give off particles to either herself or someone else to quickly fill that elemental burst up. And then Mona, I did say she was on the Exile set. She is not on the Exile set. She is on the Scholar set, full 4-piece here. And this one is whenever Mona is absorbing elemental particles or orbs. So it could be from Diona's skill, Xingqiu's skill, Diona's Favonius Warbow, or particles from damaging monsters. Anyone in your party that's wearing a catalyst or a bow, so this is for Mona, Diona, as well as Ganyu, is getting 3 energy as well. And this is the other set that you can utilize on Diona. Very, very powerful, especially in conjunction with that Favonius Warbow, because if she needs some energy, you generate the energy with the Warbow, you generate it with her elemental skill, you absorb it, it's going to give some of that back to your teammates as well. And that has once every 3-second cooldown. So very, very powerful there. Could probably swap these around on those 2 characters. And then Ganyu wasn't really built for anything. She was built for damage, but we weren't trying to destroy enemies. We were just using the traditional 3 supports, 1 damage dealer setup here in Genshin Impact. So very powerful setup here. Diona's very good in freeze teams, very good in melt teams as well. So use her as your cryo activator. Pair her with a hydro character like Xingqiu or Mona. Any of those characters work very well when they're very, very good at constantly applying hydro off the battlefield. And then you can also pair her with someone who wants to do melt damage, right? Pair her with Klee, put that field down, have that constant cryo applied, and then melt that off of your opponents. Pair her with Dilute, pair her with basically any pyro character you want to do the big melt damage with. And then in the future, Hu Tao fans, this is going to be very good for you as well. So she's going to be able to shield up your Hu Tao so she doesn't die, give you the ability to melt with Hu Tao as well. Very powerful. And then if you do have some of the max constellations on her, she's got a lot of good ones here. The first one here is going to help you out a ton. So if you are a Diona fan, and she is on the banner right now, getting 15 energy back when you use your own elemental burst, that really helps you out a lot. It's going to cut that energy cost down from 80 to 65. Very, very, very powerful there as well. Her C2, if you use her in multiplayer a lot, is also very powerful because it's going to give you an AoE shield when you use your Icy Paw elemental skill. It's also going to increase the shield strength by quite a bit there as well. The other one that is very strong is this C6. So we were talking about this with Hu Tao. This makes her even better at healing, but also makes her very good at melt teams, because anyone who's inside her elemental burst, their elemental mastery is going to be increased by 200 when her HP is above 50%. This is incredibly powerful. So you're in there getting your heals, so you're going to be above 50% HP. And then on top of that, you're going to get 200 elemental mastery, which makes her another reason she's an insanely strong character in melt teams. 200 elemental mastery is going to increase your melt damage by a ton. So if you do end up getting her there somehow, it's gonna be exceptionally powerful. So if you have a C6 one you're pulling on the banner for your boy Xiao, you might have another golden ticket in your account. So hopefully they'll give you a little taste about why I like Diona so much. I like her as my cryo healer over literally anyone else. You know, not to hate on the Chi-Chi fans. Chi-Chis, I know you guys like the Chi-Chi out there. I like Diona way more than I like Chi-Chi. I think she's way cool. She's got a lot of interesting builds that you can take utilizations of, especially with that Favonius Warbow build. It's my personal favorite. You guys want to see more Genshin Impact content and coverage? You know what to do. Make sure you like this video. Let us all know. Help out the algorithm. Tell YouTube that you are here to be heard. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, guys.